It's Friday. I'm CJ. Today we are talking about, well, I'm talking about, I'm still catching up on weeks and being the worst, really. This week we're talking about what inspires you, things that inspire you, how you find inspiration, all of that. That is something that I am massively preoccupied with, mainly because I think in the kind of writerly way, I get obsessed with like the idea of inspiration as though it's something that I could maybe like bottle and then I could have it and then I could just do all the writing all of the time without ever having to worry about it. That's not something that happens. And so I sort of war with the idea of inspiration because I think I get very like stuck between, I don't know what it is, it's elusive, it's hard to find. And like, I think a little bit of me kind of believes that it's also kind of a crock. That inspiration isn't the same as admiring somebody or admiring something or aspiring to something. And they're all things that I feel much more comfortable with, I guess, just because my brain is always a little bit more comfortable with the idea of like something to work towards, which, you know, I think that's maybe just a lie I tell myself on the days when I'm feeling really pragmatic, because then the other part of me is just very like, you know, I'm about to find inspiration in a sunbeam. Not that bad. I do think that inspiration is one of those things that I kind of find everywhere and does take me by surprise. Me making a video has inspired Tiggy to play with her favourite toy. This is what Tiggy finds inspiring. Tiggy very much likes her brush. She has been fighting with this brush since she got here. So we're now on a good 8 months, is it, of destroying the brush? So I'm just going to do all of this with a French Bulldog who wants to play down there because otherwise I'll never get it done. The inspiration for me comes under like certain caveats, which is my like brain chemistry good? Have I been taking my meds? Have I been doing the responsible thing? Have I been sleeping? And actually like going out and then finding this kind of wonder. And I think that's something that's become increasingly important to me. And you've got to take time to find the world like a little bit wonderful and a little bit special. And if you can't do that, that's fine. I say all of this from an incredible place of privilege. So much of my life these days is set around how I want it to be and what I want it to look like. The inspiration has become a little bit more of a game I can play. You know, I can go out and I can find things that I find wonderful because I don't have a ton of things infringing on me. We sort of exist in two camps, don't we? There's either the cynical people who are too smart to be fooled by the idea of wonder, and then there's the space cadets who find wonder in everything. I like to think of myself as a cynical romantic. Or a radical romantic even, where I do find inspiration and joys in those things of, you know, just recently I went to Malta and there were views that I looked at and I quite literally felt my heart stop, they were so good. And that was inspiring to me, that made me want to do things, it made me want to make things, it made me want to create things. I guess it's always a slightly tricky one because there's, you know, there's the pat answers, there's the easy ones. I know a ton of people who inspire me just every day, by being themselves. And I think, you know, by being themselves in a world that does its hardest to make sure that people aren't themselves. And I find that kind of like the human spirit, the human fortitude, the human strength in the face of the bullshit. That's definitely something that is constantly inspiring and humbling because I think it's something that I'm very bad at. I think when I'm down, I have a tendency to like swan dive, whereas I would like a little bit more of that kind of doingness spirit, but I'm working on it. You know, I'm a work in progress, and I guess that's the inspiration that I find most. It's like anything that I can find that gets me through to like the next day, or the next 2 days, or the next 3 days, or the next week, month, year, whatever.